almost there, almost there. All right. So go live. All right, here we go. We're going live. Going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Here we go. Are you there? We're coming, we're coming. It's coming. People are like, where are you? All right. I think. We're supposed to be on now. Did it not go? Yeah, it's supposed to be live on Facebook now. Live on Facebook? Yeah. Hello? I'm not seeing it. Yes, so we're live. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So let me share it on, hold on, I'm going to share. So I'm changing, we share. So share it in, let me share it, hold on. Sorry guys for the delay. Welcome, welcome. We're trying to work out all our glitches. Are you able to see? Go on my Facebook page, Lawrence, and then share it on yours. It's open. Thank you guys for joining. We're trying to work out these technical glitches. I'm going to share it in a couple of groups, here and here. Let me know when you got it shared.
All right, it says it's live on my timeline.
Is it on your timeline now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check to make sure my settings are
public.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thank you guys for joining. We are actually trying to use this time to be technical geniuses. So this is the best time for us to experiment. Yeah, we went on live last night and trying to work out all the glitches, but you know, we're not technical geniuses, but by the end of
by no stretch of the imagination.
By the end of this isolation, we got this on down pack. Is it on your page now?
It is.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. We're so excited to be here with you guys with my co-host, Lawrence Kerr. So, Lawrence.
Hello.
So today, we wanted to come on and just have a nice interactive conversation with you guys. We realize that as business owners, as mom, as everything, we're like dual everything. And this isolation that we're going to have an impact on everyone around us, everyone around the world. And one of the things that we wanted to come on and just check in, have a conversation, because the world around us has changed. And we wanted to see how it's impacting you and are you ready to adopt? You know, to our new norm, because this is our new norm.
That's it.
All right, so let's see who's on. I could start by welcoming a couple people on my page. I have Trina, I have Diane, I have Ostelita, I have Trisetta, I have Juliet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who would you like to welcome on your page? Lawrence?
I'm just pulling it up right now. I see Lita. Kadeen says she's about to join in.
Yes.
So yeah, this is great.
All right, thank you guys. Okay, so we wanted to start off by introducing ourselves and just talk about a little bit about who we are and why we chose to actually hold this platform at a time like this. So my name is Nikisha Geddes. I am the co-founder of an organization called Beyond Services Choice Matters Inc. And I it's an organization that supports individual with disability within my community or the GTA community. And I'm also the founder of an organization called Geddes Concept, where I empower women, professional women, to unleash their power within and find their inner boss and start them on that journey to whether it is they want to start a business or they want to I'll say, work towards advancing in other areas of their life. So those are the two things that I currently do. I've been a business owner for 3 years now, and I've been on this journey for about 5 years. So you, Lawrence,
Yes.
tell me a bit about you. Who are you?
Well, Lawrence E. Kerr. I am a photographer and brand coach. And for me, having these conversations this week have just been amazing. Just the amount of positivity, the calm that people have had, and just getting prepared. And, it's just been time to execute a lot of the things that we said we're going to do. So in working with my clients and trying to figure out how do we pivot, working through that myself, it's just been a great week. And I just wanted to kind of broaden that conversation for a lot of people to see what they're doing and get some more tips and some ideas of what exactly, especially as a creative, what do we do now?
Yes, yes. So good. So I have a few more people join us. Welcome. I have Maxine, I have Kimona, I have Shana, and I have Megan. So a few more people have joined. Welcome. So let's dive right into our talk. So today, let's talk about what's happened in this isolation and how it has impacted our life and our business. So I'll let you go take the head on this one, Lawrence.
Well, as a creative, it's funny. There's two things going on right now, which when I put the two together, the parallel is actually quite interesting. My studio is currently taking in water. So it is, call it flooded out. So every other day I'm literally pumping water out of the studio. And then the event side of the business, because we can't congregate, has dried up. So the studio's underwater and the event side of the business has dried up. So I've been in the process of making a pivot to do more things online. So this has just accelerated that for me and made me realize all those things I said I was going to do. Now's the time to get on it and do it. So really finding a way to do things differently, be it vertically integrate the business or switch into something completely different as well.
Mm-hmm. Good. And for me, my organization, Beyond Services Choice Matters Inc., it's a community-based organization where we integrate the people that we support within the community. So with the community being closed, that area of my business is also closed. So we're completely closed until we get back to whatever it is normal is for a new city, right? And so what that has done for me, so that have impacted my business in that aspect, but in my life, it gave me the opportunity to be more creative, right? So what I'm doing right now, I'm finding different means to connect with people. I'm finding different means where I am able to collaborate with other people. It forces me to reach out to people that I wouldn't normally reach out to. It's forcing me to form mastermind. It's forcing me to just think outside the box. Like I'm being more creative where I am developing virtual ways to get my message across, virtual ways to connect, virtual ways to network. And personally, one of the things that I have shunned away from with my family is like homework and homeschooling and stuff like that. I usually tell myself I have no patience for this, so I'm one of those that we have had a tutor for our two younger kids for years. And this past school year, we have a nanny that help our children with schoolwork. So now I am actually doing that. I'm like, yesterday I did it for the first time. And I was like, wow, this is not so bad after all. Why was I so afraid to
Mm.
do this? Right. So it's forcing you out of that comfort zone and doing the things that make you uncomfortable so that you could see your true potential, right? And propel it to the person that you're becoming.
Right.
Does anybody have anything to say? Yes, Trisetta was saying that it is time to accelerate online business. I think that's a good thing to talk about, Lawrence. How can you utilize your business in the online world?
Well, there's the first thing, everyone's like, Lawrence, what are you going to do? You can't take pictures remotely. So looking at just different avenues where the photography is concerned, where, and unfortunately, a lot of it are things that I thought about and I know I could have and should have developed a while ago. So now, and that's the regret creeping in. So no time for that. It's time to go. So it's offering services to do editing for people that they have things that need to be done and bring that up to date. So now they can send me the files and I can edit. So I can still stay within that and develop that side of the business. There's the coaching and helping photographers or creatives to develop their business and get started and having 10 years of work and history of how to things to do to help to develop that. So in sharing that knowledge, so a lot of it is about connecting and then really positioning myself as when this gets out as a resource for people. And then the other side is the branding. So really for me, this timing is right where I need it to be. And 2 weeks ago, I said, I need to take my branding process and make that more virtual and put that online. So I developed my survey and my questionnaire and made that available that I can send to people. They can fill it out and then we can have the discussion. So it's better to have that face-to-face conversation. But now looking at the technology that's available through WhatsApp, through Zoom and everything else, to be able to have that consultation and still go through that process at the same time, but do that online. So and then there's getting into selling prints as well. So I do have some work. I haven't done a lot of fine art or things that could be sold, but there are some that I can look at and putting that online and selling it that way. So,
You know what I love about this era? It is forcing us to find that creative side that we knew we had, but we just don't think we have, right? And now that we're at that stage of our life where we're at a standstill, we can't move, right? Physically, we can't move, but now we're mentally moving in the direction that we should have been moving into. Because of all the noise, we weren't able to listen to that inner creativity, that inner being, that inner self,
right.
right? Because we were surrounded by too much noise. So now is the time for us to just be quiet, be still, and just do the things that we know that people in our community need from us, that they expect from us, that they need to help them to move to the next level of their life, because we are servants. We are here to serve. We're here to make an impact. And now is the time for that impact. Let me go on and say, Diana on my line said this, the situation has created or opened other opportunities, which some people never considered before, such a meeting remotely. Look at
Mhm.
that. Exactly. Like I have never thought about doing this, right? And last week, I was thinking about, because earlier this year, I thought about on April, I was going to do Friday night social. And last week I'm like, wait, I could do Friday night social virtually, right? And I did. And I was inspired because I had created a network of people who were able to help me to do this and tapping into their knowledge, their wealth to make it a successful event. And it was even better than if
It was
I did
amazing.
it in a building, right? Do you want to talk about that? Just that remote, that virtual experience you had last week in the networking event virtually.
Yeah, I think taking, away from the bricks and mortar, and then people that, some I knew, which was great. and then some new people. And instantly we were all there for a purpose of helping each other, learning and figuring out what do we do next. And I mean, some of them, like someone I'd never met before was just on me, like, Lawrence, here's what you need to do. You need to put your mask on first because you're always trying to help people. I'm like, oh my God, how'd they know? And it was just so encouraging to get that and feel that there's people that are willing to be on my accountability team and help me to stay focused. I know what I'm doing. And now that I put it out there, I know I'm expecting a call from TT in the next little while to, kind of, Lawrence, it's Monday. Did you do what you said you were going to do? So just phenomenal. And I think just in going forward, just showing the way that you can have that connectivity virtually without having to be in person.
Okay, so I have Christopher Lawrence is asking a question, and I think, Lawrence, you're best suited for this question. How to get clients to your online store?
Well, part of, the big thing is, and this is for me, from a branding standpoint, they'll say the best time to grow a bamboo tree was 20 years ago. But now the best time to plant the seed is today. So part of it is about planting that seed. So in whatever you're doing, especially now with the way the climate is, it's pretty, I won't say easy, but people are naturally gravitating to online. So that's where, you see the Zoom stock has jumped 30%, yes. All the online stores, shares have jumped as well. So it's about making that transition and going out and doing it. So getting them to come over is a little easier now because they're looking for that. So, the Amazons, the Shopifys, getting onto the eBay stores, the platform is there. So now you need to get on there and do something that makes sense. So now is a time to make that pivot. But if you can do something within your lane that people, they know you for. So if I were to say, guess what, I'm doing a sock line, that's well within my wheelhouse. If I'm doing anything with the photography and selling the product or services, it's already built into my brand. So then leveraging what's there first and then going. So, me selling wigs might not be a good fit right now. I could, but it would be a lot easier to stay with something that's close to what is in your heart and what's in your brand, so people know you for, and then you can grow from that standpoint. But the main thing is just to do it. Yeah. Really, when it comes down to it, and not overthink it. I right now isn't the time for thinking; it's the time for doing. So if you thought about it, get on it. That's really my best.
And I was going to say, Trisetta has some good point where she says, start by thinking about the knowledge you can pass on to others, then create continuing to share, then create and continue to share it. Position yourself as an expert in your industry by sharing valuable content online, especially shareable content, which is so important. Because I know for myself, one of the things that this has taught me is to be more visible online, because my main business, my primary business is within the community, and it doesn't necessarily need me to show up online, but because I'm creating another side of my business where I need to show up. So this forces me to show up, so that, and we have to always be mindful of, even on those days where you feel like you don't want to show up, those are the days that you need to push, right? Because visibility is the key to your online business, your online world, because we cannot be selling things online and promoting things online when we're not showing up online. And I've often talked to people where it's only when they're doing something, they show up online. And then when that event or whatever it is that they're doing stop, then they stop coming online. I'm like, so it seemed like you're an online user. You only know to come online when you want something from me. Otherwise, you're not there to support me at all. So it's very important for us to be mindful. How are we presenting our business, ourselves online? Are we online for our purpose only? Are we online for a togetherness, a community to grow and to build together? Because it's not about you alone. We can't be taken from people, we have to also plant seed into people as well.
Exactly.
Right? Let's go. Is there anyone in your group that have anything to say or any comment that you want to talk about?
Well, just going back to the comments about starting the online business and and generating sales, what could help resurrect sales? Mm-hmm. But so part of at the end of the day, you have to advertise, and that shows up in a variety of ways, from traditional marketing, but then also from things that you can do. So the engagement thing is very important, and was buzzword. It's been used and overused in the last little while, but that authenticity, and that's really important. In that, it when it makes sense, it makes dollars, because you have to less of an uphill climb in what you're doing. So in positioning yourself as an expert, I had a client reached out last week, and they're a makeup artist, and what do I do? My business, I can't do makeup, so we've now put the platform together for her she's doing her YouTube tutorials, doing one-on-one consultations virtually, and then also helping makeup artists to start their own business. So she has the roadmap for them to follow. So, it all makes sense. And she's positioned herself as an expert. She has, the who's who in Canadian entertainment as her client. So she definitely has built that foundation of knowledge, but then also the breadth of people knowing who she is, that I can trust that she knows what she's talking about.
So one of the things that, just to go into that visibility and how to turn her lead into sale, one of the things that I learned last night, I was on an amazing mastermind group with Trisetta. She's on here in OTT, and Chantel. And one of the things I remember Trisetta was saying is that we got that 20/80 rules, where every fifth content needs to be where you're promoting yourself. Yes. And then last night I was talking to you about that, and you had a great model that you use with the 5 E's. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the takeaways. So once we get through the consultation and go and figure out, what your brand is, we talk about, aligning your values with your goals, and how that shows up in your content really is one of 5 ways that I suggest. And it's a way to really implement that 80-20. So 1 in 5 posts is about promoting your business. So the top one is entertain. That's a real easy and great way to gain an audience. So you don't necessarily have to be the clown yourself, but share something that is entertaining that people will gravitate to. So video, something with dancing, anything by Ellen seems to work really well. But entertain is great. Educate. So now you're telling people about a particular topic. It might be something in your industry, or something that is, about what's going on. So health and fitness, could be beauty, could be finance. Again, try to say something within your lane that makes sense for your brand. Then you get into engage. So you want to ask questions. You want to be able to draw them in and make them a part of the conversation. But more importantly, show that their opinion and their comments have value, and that they have a place and a voice within your brand, and that you're listening. You wanted to enlighten. So this is where, you do the motivational posts, the quotes, depending on what makes sense for your values, that you have something that might be of a religious bent. It might be Zig Ziglar or some a business or anything else like that, but something to enlighten and just give people a better feeling about themselves, and encouragement and motivation. And then you get to the entice. And that's when you're selling. Now, you could do a promotion, like, we have a $99 special, or buy one, get one, or anything like that. Or really take that opportunity to show people why they should use you. So you might talk about, it could be a testimonial, could be something that a client has referred, but give them a reason to say, you know what, I want to do business with Nikisha. I want to do business with Christopher Lawrence and Trisetta. Whatever you have out there that you're creating in your brand, that interest. So you're enticing them to want to do business with you. Besides being at price isn't always the best way to go, and I rarely would use that. But what is it about you that you do differently for other people, and that that will make them use you? So educate, entertain, engage, enlighten, entice. Those are your 5 E's. If you do one of 5, then you're okay as far as staying with that 80-20 rule.
Thank you. And you know what? This is so important because for somebody like me, where my primary business is mainly about connecting with people within my community. So the online world is something that, yes, I've dibble dabble in the online world, but I haven't really focused on that because most of my clientele come from personal interaction, referral. So in that department, I was doing very, very well in, but those kind of connection does not generate income in a time of our new norm, right? And it's very important for us to position ourselves properly. And one of the things that for me right now in this season, what I'm doing is connecting myself with people who are able to sow seed into me, knowledge, wealth, and I'm able to do the same, vice versa, so that whatever I know, I could teach, whatever they know, they could teach. So it's very important for you to find that community virtually that you could connect with. I like what Trisetta was saying here. She was saying something about when it makes sense, it makes dollars. And it's so true because people need to see, one of the things too is very important, people need to see growth in you, right? I know for myself, I started out with a blog. That's where I started from. And I started to write a blog and then I wrote a book. And then from that, I launched my business. Then I launched 2 businesses. So when people see that growth, but that growth needs to be visible online where people are able to trust into what it is that you're doing. Because if there's growth in you that, maybe she got, or maybe he knows a thing or two of what they're doing, right? So I could reach out to this person and have them help me to navigate my way through because I'm at this point, but I want to be at that point, right? So it's so important for us to have that journey need to be visible as well. It's one thing to try to sell a package, but who are you? What's your journey? What's your story, right? You need to realize that I'm not buying into your package. I'm buying into Lawrence Kerr, right? Who is Lawrence Kerr, right? How are you showing up for me so that I could trust that your product will work for me? Because that's it, right? Coca-Cola, everybody, they built a journey, they built a story. And if you go as back as you can remember, we all have some kind of memory about this product, this brand. What is your brand? What is your memory? How are you feeding into my soul? How are you feeding into my spirit? When I think about you, how do I feel? Right? Do I smile? Do I feel joy? Do I feel inspired? Do I feel motivated? Right? These are the messages that need to be within everything that we do when it come onto online. We need to feed into people's spirit, into their soul, into their emotion, because that's what truly going to sell our product. Our product will not sell itself, right? Let me see. Is there any question on your end? And Trisetto says, share your expertise. What's your expertise? And I think sometimes, even for myself, I struggle with that. You know, I'm sharing, but I'm really not sharing my expertise. A lot of time, people have no clue what I do. And that's the area that I'm going to be developing you know, because in my main career, my main mental illness developmental world, my expertise is what get me the clients. I know that because the first thing parents will ask, what is your expertise? The government office, what is your expertise? And when they know what my expertise is and they have confidence in my experience and my expertise, they don't have a problem spending their dollars with me. They don't have a problem referring me to a family that need my service because they trust into my expertise. They trust that I'm able to do the job. Now I need to be able to convert that experience in the not in how would I say it out in the world on social media. So I got that down pack out in the world. Now how do I convert that transition into this world, the new norm virtually, right? So that's where I'm learning to do that because I could go out there and I could sell milk out of coffee. I know how to do that perfectly, right?
Right.
I could sell myself,
Well,
right? But now I have to do it
Christopher's point,
virtually as well.
he asked about the brand strategy. And so that's really a really big part because the expertise is really important. But my brand strategy in his question, it's twofold. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And so you could have all the expertise, but the challenge is if people don't know, like, and then trust you, it goes for naught. So it's really important to know when you're talking what your brand voice is, and then work and rebuild what is your brand language. So it's really important. We talked yesterday about some words and what are the buzzwords. And there's words that make sense for your industry, and then make words that make sense for your brand, and then really cultivating that. So being able to inspire people by what you do. So when we talk about brand strategy, it's really about making that connection. So it's, if you notice, I love using multiple letters and staying with that for a theme, but it's about community, it's about culture, about community, and then making connections. So those 3 C's. So what is your culture? What is the culture of your brand, of yourself and your values? And then find that community of people that are like-minded. So when we talk, I talk about having a conversation with one. So you find that avatar of that person, of who it is in your target market. So you and I, we share our very similar target. So we know who we're speaking to. So when we're speaking to that one person, it then multiplies. So we're having that conversation on one-on-one, and then it grows and we build that audience slowly. So it's not about getting out to the race. And, I have the example, if I sent 10,000 people to your doorstep tomorrow, could you service them? And, most people can't, because they don't have the systems in place to do that. But that's really important to look at, having that grow. And then as that grows, so yes, there's how many billion people and millions using each social media platform. But if you can really build an audience and a community that knows, likes, and trusts you, of 500, of 100, you're in a good place. So it's getting out of that race and the vanity metrics of having as many people that you can follow you, but about making the connections with the ones that do. And so then from there, it's about being hot, and it's not about looks, but it's about being honest, open, and transparent. So as you do that, as you're sharing things about your life, and not everything, you don't have to tell everybody everything, but you drill down to what's important and what's a part of your story, and then build on that. So there's 2 sides of that. It's the story of people that know you from the past and how they interact with you, and then how you see yourself. But then a third part is how you really are. So when we look at that and you put those 3 together, how does that translate? So it's really important. So the first part of my consultation is about setting that tone of how you see yourself or present yourself, how people see you, and how you really are. And so when you do that, and you see that sometimes it's completely different, it really makes you reevaluate how you're putting things forward. But then also, it's the past, it's the present, and there's a part aspirational. So it's not fake it till you make it, but knowing where you want to be and start acting as if. So there's things that you won't do if you want to be a CEO with a Fortune 500 company of X. There's certain things you're not going to do. And in the first little while, that's way that guides you in the principles of how you need to act and how you need to show up in order to connect. So it's really simple, but it's involved. And the thing more important, and that is 2, one, that you can influence your brand, but you can't control it. And that it's a process that takes time, and it's something you have to commit to and say, this is something I want to build. I know that it's going to be a successive amount of steps to get to it.
One other thing that I want to add to that is it's so important for you to test your brand out as well, right? A lot of time we have an idea of who our clientele is, who our target audience is, but that's an idea to start with, but we got to test our brand and listen to our clientele. I'll give you an example. I remember when we started 3 years ago, when we started Beyond Service Choice Matters Inc. And what we did, we launched it because it's a service for people with disabilities. So we launched it at a convention. This was a big, how would I say, a big convention for people with disabilities. So everybody and anybody who have an organization or anything to do with disability was there. We were like a fish in an ocean, right? So this was the day that we launched. We chose that weekend and we launched. We paid the money to just to be in that environment because we knew our target audience would be there, right? That is it, no doubt. And it cost a lot to launch a business like that, but we did. But one of the things that we were able to do while we were talking to family, while we were talking to organization, we were able to see what excites them. What about our business or what model of our business that excite them? And from that weekend, we went back and we reconstruct our business like, oh, we noticed that family like when we say this, we noticed that this is what they say, we noticed, and we were able to fine tune it. And then a year later into the business, we were able to fine tune it some more because now we have clientele and we realize that, okay, this is the clientele that we are targeting the most. Because it's one thing to say when we just went into it, we're like, oh yeah, we're going to target family with loved one with disability. That is wide. Right. And while we were in it, we're like, oh, no, that's not our target. No, that's not our target. No, that's not our target audience. So then we were able to experiment, listen, see who we're able to help and fine tune it. And now for us, we're like, okay, now we know that we're targeting clientele who have behavior and complex needs. So we're no longer targeting family of disability. It's fine tuned to that. With my Geddes Concept organization, I'm coming from the health industry. I'm coming from the mental health. I'm coming from the disability world. So those are the areas that I have experience in. So yes, my target audience are healthcare workers who would want to start their business or healthcare workers who want to walk into their purpose, right? Instead of just saying, I'm targeting women. How do you narrow that niche? Do experiment. One of the things that I recommend people to do, virtually send out, we call it surveys, right? We could use
Yes.
Survey Monkeys. I've done that. Find Survey Monkeys, like you have a business ideas and you want to know to go. Now is the time to send out those Survey Monkey. Create a survey, send it out to your ideal clientele. And from there, you build your business, right? From those respond and then do that over and over. Now is the time to do it. You have to test out your market. The idea is within our head. Yes, we need to bring it to life, but we still need to test out our target audience. So right now, virtually, I'll say utilize Survey Monkeys to do that, right? I love the engagement in the group. People are giving tips, people are commenting, and this is the main idea of this platform. It's not just for me and Lawrence Kerr to come on and talk about our expertise. It's for us as a community to come together and connect. This is a time for us to truly connect with somebody that you haven't connected with. So if you're on here and there's somebody that really resonates within you, or there's somebody that has some kind of knowledge or wealth that you think you could benefit from, I'm going to encourage you to connect. I am all about connecting in this season. We have to utilize this season, right? And connect with like-minded individuals, connect with people who are able to help us to grow, connect with people who are able to help us to expand, connect with people who will bring that creativity out of us, because God knows right now I am the most creative person ever, like there's things I can't sleep at night. I'm working. I am always working, right? I'm building my brand. I'm building my business. I am calling people. I'm texting people. I'm bothering people. I'm like, hey, when are you available? I have a scale. I have an appointment book. I have an appointment right now. I know what I'm going to do at 1:00. I have an appointment with Nicole, I have a podcast at 8:00. I think I have a couple of things to do. Me and you got to meet and debrief about this, right? My agenda is fully booked. I have to homeschool my kids, right? So have an agenda where you're going through and you are fill those agenda, not because you're home mean that you can't keep an appointment, not because you're home mean you can't schedule things into your day, right? And that will bring me right into our next topic, Me Inc., right? How do we stay on task right now? You are your company, you are your agency, you are your organization, you are it. How do we manage ourselves in this season? Give me something about this. I'm so excited about this topic. Lawrence?
Well,
Me Inc.
you know what? There are a couple things, and I think one, and in thinking about it, it was when I woke up this morning and decided, what am I going to wear to come online? How am I going to show up? And it's so important to think about those things, and that self-care, and you really thinking about, what will make you feel better, and really getting to that point. And I don't know who started this conversation about putting your mask on first, but it's so important. And I know you and I have struggled with this because we're just so used to giving and giving and giving. But to take that moment, step back and put our mask on. And I had to go through the process for myself and say, I need to do my own consultation and all these things that I need to do to realign my values and my goals to get there. And part of that was pulling back and not being as visible. So really important, that self-care, that selflessness. It's, some people see it as selfish, but it's really important for you to be able to give back. So from the conversations last week, Tuesday in particular, I spoke to so many people and encouraging and motivating them. And I was empty because I didn't know what I was going to do, but in sharing so much, it filled me up. And that gave me more clarity to be able to go on. And that moment of worry passed so quickly, and being able to share and, in 10 minutes, put a business plan together for someone to help them transform their business and pivot from where they are. So for Me Inc., it's really that, me isn't selfish. It's important for me to be able to provide and support everyone else, especially my family.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. For me, honestly, I like the fact that you're talking about we got to put on that mask first. One of the things that I had to learn is that you cannot save people when you're drowning. You got to save yourself first. About 4 or 5 years ago, I found myself going through, I didn't even know what it was. I was just going through something. I was in a very dark place. When I mean dark, it was dark. And I had to question myself. Hold on, guys, come on, please. I had to question myself, like, wondering, this is what homeschooling and work and everything looks like.
I don't know if you can hear my granddaughter is wailing in the background right now.
Yeah, my older son is bothering the little ones. Yes. So I got to a dark place where I just couldn't understand what was happening to me. And, and when I seek professional help, I realized that I was going through a severe case of depression where I lost me. I did not know who I was. I did not know where I was. I just did not exist anymore. And that's because I was serving from an empty place. I needed to save me first before I could save the world. And one of the things that is so profound that I learned is that I cannot please anyone but myself. I gotta please me. My expectation on others is only my expectation on others. We have to learn to accept people for who they are. We have to learn to accept people for, just accept people and stop have these huge expectations of people, because that's when they're going to disappoint us, right? That's when we're going to get into this dark place where nobody could please us, and learning that nobody could make you happy but you.
Mm-hmm.
Joy is something that comes from within, right? Only from within. You are the only one that could bring joy in your life. And it's the reason why, like, I do this program. I have this program that I created where I talk about Me Inc., right? Where you have to think of yourself as an organization. It starts with you. How do you run your organization from the bottom up? You got to dig that basement. You got to get into that dark, 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 dark place, that hole way down below, and deal with that basement first, right? Work on that basement, the ground level that everybody ignore, because we're looking at the roof of our structure, of our organization, of us. But that deep, deep, dark part of us, we need to dig into that, work on that first, work on you first, before you even start thinking that I'm going to help the world. You cannot save the world until you save yourself. I cannot be of I cannot be an impact in your life until I'm an impact in my life. I cannot have cause a change in your life until I'm able to cause those changes in my life. And I had to dig deep and face those fears, those demons, because we all have some demons so deep. Some of us don't even know how far those demons go.
Mm-hmm.
And work on those first. And I think I am as successful as I am as a business person, because yeah, my business is only 3 years old compared to other people who have been in business for like years, you know. But I think that I'm a successful business person. That's because I know who I am. I know my demons. I face them every day. And when you come on to mental illness, it's something that I'm not going to say there's a cure for it. It's something that you're going to battle with, because I've gone through mental illness most of my life, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's not going to disappear like that. But learning the symptoms, learning what triggers it, learning how to come to terms with who you are, and forgive those that hurt you, because forgiveness is not just for you, it's for everyone. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's for you, and no, it's not for the person, it's for you. When you learn to forgive those people that hurt you, that do you wrong, you're free, right? And you got to be a free person before you could even start thinking about a business and thinking about cause and effect. We got to work on us. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people who are in business, they're struggling because they don't take the time to work on themselves first. You are your company, you are your organization, you cannot lead from a broken place. And if you're going to have an organization or start a business, you're trying to lead somebody, right? How do you expect someone to follow you? You won't have that sustainable followers.
Mm-hmm.
And you want that sustainable followers who they're there for you every single year, every single day. You want that repeated customers, right? But you got to work on Me Inc. first. You are your organization, you are your company, you are your agency, you are it. People buy from you, not your product. Who are you? Know who you are first, right? And anything you want to add to that? Let me see if there's any comment here.
Yeah, just scrolling through, and someone asking about and mentioned about doing your SWOT. So know your strengths and weaknesses. And
Mm,
this is where, get down to that authenticity, but then also that being open, honest, and transparent. But you have to do that with yourself. And, being able to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are and where you need help. And sometimes a weakness isn't something to work on. It's just find someone to take care of that. But for me, when it comes to financials, I'm passing that on. But it's not that
mhm.
I don't need to learn how to become an accountant. I need to learn and know what the things I can't do that I need to find help with. So, but when it comes to the mental, it's so important. And I don't know the actual statistic of how many businesses fail because the owner, but if it fails, it's the owners, it's the founder, it's their fault. It's not because of anything else that happened. If you fail, it's your fault. And being able to say and accept that and own that is really important, because ultimately we're making those decisions, we're putting those things in place. It's not anyone's fault. It's not that this happened, that COVID-19 happened while your business failed. Your business failed because you weren't prepared. Your business failed
Yes.
because you didn't react quickly enough. Your business failed because you just shut down. So we're all dealing with that. I cannot take pictures. I cannot have, the way my business normally goes. It's dead. It's dead. So I have to look at that.
Likewise.
And you know what? 6 months ago, I would be in bed. I'm not getting out. I'm like, the world is over. I don't know. But now, I've worked on my mental state and my mindset to the point where I can overcome these things. And people like, Lawrence, why are you always so positive? And I don't know, I'm not always so positive, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And
Exactly.
I've just gotten better at dealing with the situations. The situations haven't stopped. They don't stop. They're always going to be there. There's always going to be these challenges, but it's how you deal with them, how you face them. So, it used to be things were a problem. Then I start calling them challenges, but now they're opportunities. So if you look at that in that same situation and how you approach them, changes everything. So now I see it as opportunity. So here's an opportunity for me to grow, to reconnect with a lot of people. And I've just been inundated because people know, and then it's like, wait a second, they take stock. This must be really, really bad for Lawrence and what he does, and reaching out. So I'm having some the best conversations I've had with friends in the last little while. There's two things that have happened: the death of Kobe Bryant, where men were having conversations about um, just emotions and the future legacy and just that vulnerability. Friends I've had for 30 plus years, we never talked about these things, but now we're having these conversations. And now this situation where people are looking at, okay, what do we do in the community? They got the call about the notice about the lockdown and the non-essential businesses being shut down after midnight. And people are calling out, reaching out, saying, hey, you know what? You want to go stock up on your groceries? Do you need anything? Just checking in. And I'm noticing that people are checking in. So that is bringing a lot of encouragement. So that's my feeling right now. I'm encouraged because of everything that's going on. It's really positive.
Yes. Okay, so I want to take this time for us to just go through some of what our people who are watching are saying. So we could just go back and forth from your page to
Absolutely.
my page. So
Well, you know what? I'll start with Christopher asked about being a niche. The niche really works now. There's two things with niche marketing that are really important. That when you focus on a particular group, sometimes it takes a little while to drill down to what that is. But now, when you're speaking to a smaller segment, you can be more focused. So if you don't have a huge budget, now bringing that down so you know exactly who you're targeting. And Instagram and Facebook are really good for that and really drilling down that segment that you want to get. But then also from a marketing standpoint, and then from investment, you're not necessarily investing a lot of, let's say you're going product based and trying to reach a wide market. So niche is always a good place to start, and it's a good place to reside from. And I use the analogy with doctors. The most valuable or the highest compensated doctors are the ones that specialize, the neurosurgeons, the plastic surgeons. The general practitioner that can do a little of everything, they're usually the ones that don't make as much money. So that's might be a way of thinking of it.
okay, so I wanted to go talk about a conversation that Trisetta and Diana is having. So I see a suggestion here where Trisetta was saying to Diana, I would actually suggest to double down on your genius and delegate your weaknesses. And Diana was saying, Trisetta, I agree, but some people may not have the funds or resource to do so through, especially this time. Okay, right now, let me see what Trisetta say. Never let money be your excuse. Ask yourself. I was just about to talk about that. Like, honestly, one thing that I learned, anything that you desire, it desire you too. Never let money be the reason why you don't do what you need to do. There is resources surround you. Whatever it is you want to do, you gotta, I know some people say they're introvert and extrovert. If you really want to do something, find somebody there, especially within North America. I could speak about Canada because I know Canada very well. There's resources, there's free resources out there to help you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. You just got to be very resourceful. You want it bad enough, it's there for you. Like I could speak on that. I've lived in Ontario all my life. I was a street kid. There's nothing out there that I wanted that I wasn't able to get for free.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to school many a time for free. I even within my business, there's part of my business that I was able to develop. Even like the other day, there was some changes that I need to make. Sometimes you need to ask for what you want. Just ask. Stop being afraid. You never know who out there is able to help you. I had to do something and I was straight up and I said to the person, I said, honestly, right now, I need this done, but I don't have the fund. The person said, you know what, Keisha, I got you. Be honest. Ask for whatever it is that you want. There's somebody out there with the tool, with the resource, who's willing to help you to achieve whatever it is that you want. You put in the work. That's all you need to do. You will attract the rest. Never let money be the reason why you don't work on your goals, your vision, your desired life. Money should not be the reason ever. There's people out there who are doing amazing things without funds. I've done so much things. Sometimes, my girlfriend and I will talk about the life that we used to have when we didn't have money. We were able to do things that I'm not able to do now. Because we didn't have any money then. Now I have more money, maybe because I'm more cautious of what I do and I'm implementing, I'm being more mindful of where my money goes, but when I look back at the days when I had no money and the things that I used to eat out every day of the week. There wasn't a Friday or Saturday night that we weren't at the big fancy restaurant, right? Would I do that now? No. Right? But did money stop me then? No. I was wearing the biggest name brand, everything, right? We were very resourceful. Be resourceful, right? Any other comment on your
Well, I
side?
wanted to build on what you were saying, and this is it, it's I don't know when it started, but I'm seeing it a lot, and it bothers me when I see this comment online when people say, you know, make your moves in silence. Don't share what you're doing, what you're working on, but it's eliminating a large number of people that could help you. So I had a client that you know, she's starting her event planning business, and you know, she didn't want to share what she was doing. Her husband didn't even know all of her plans, and I said, you've got to share this. And part of it is we're afraid of that rejection, that they're not going to buy in or help or see our vision, and some just feel. You know, not necessarily with their husband, but they can't trust people. They're going to steal their ideas and everything else. But more than anything else, and I've seen this time and time again, people can't help you if they don't know what you need. So you need to share. It's so important that you know, to assume that if you're down and you're depressed, that people understand that and see it. They don't. I just get upset. I'm like, can't you see I'm in a bad mood? Can't you see I need help? Can't you see that I'm hurting? And you know what? They couldn't. And because I'd mask it so well, but then also they're not trained to see these things. So people can't help you if you don't let them know that you need help. So it's really important to put that out there and you know, wave that yellow flag saying, you know what, hey, you know, you might not know. I'm not surrendering. I just need help. So that's really important. And you know, when you're talking about that, but the other side, that, you know, one of the comments about what you can do to start, it is start. It's the number one thing. So we live in an era now coming up. I didn't. If I wanted to find out something, I was very fortunate. My parents bought the Encyclopedia Britannica for us, so I could go downstairs and I could look it up if it's something I wanted to know. So I'd either ask an adult, or I'd go to the Encyclopedia Britannica or go to the library to find it. Now there's Google. So if anything, you start to type how to start an online business, how to grow it, everything, all these resources are available. So if you don't have the money to pay a consultant or have a coach to help you do, you can find it yourself. It might take a little time to get through and sift through some of the good and the bad, but these resources are there and readily available. So if you know, somewhat resourceful, if you're on here, you have a computer, so you can look that up. Now there's that, and then, you know, find a guide. And I think Trisetta had mentioned something about do barter. A lot of my business I do is barter. So I'll trade, you know, photography or consulting services for other things that we need and help me to grow the business. So definitely something to consider and look at considering going forward.
Oliver was here. They were talking about, I like what he said here. It's all fair. It's old thinking to think people will steal my idea. That is so important. I often, when I help, right now, I help females start their own business. I've helped about 2 or 3 women start the exact same business as the one that I'm doing. Recognizing that you're not in competition with anyone is the key. You are the uniqueness to your business. When you know who you are and what you're able to bring to the world, nobody could compete with that. I'm in the business of helping people, healthcare providers, to start their own business just like mine. And you know what? I'm not in no competition. I often use the example like where I live, there's a intersection with 4 gas stations. There's a Esso, there's a Petro, there is like all of them, all 4 gas station. Or you could look at those intersection that have all 4 banks. They all make money. They all pump the same gas at the same rate. I'll use the gas station, 4 gas station at one intersection, same price, same gas, nothing different. Everybody makes money. There's something unique about each gas station. Why do I choose to go to Petro? Because I want the points.
You want the points? Yep.
Why do you choose to go to, I'll say, what's the one with the tiger? Esso.
Esso.
Because I want, maybe I want air miles, right? There's something unique about each one. What is unique about you? Your uniqueness needs to show. Your uniqueness needs to come through your brand, through your business. I am a outgoing person. I love being in the community. I love being out and about. That's what my business look like. My business look like me. What's your uniqueness? Bring that to the forefront. Nobody could compete with you, because there's only one of you. There's no other one out in this world like you. So yes, if somebody come to you and they want your idea, like, how do you do that? I get asked that question a lot of time. How did you do what you do? And I give them my recipe. I give them step-by-step guidance. How did you write a book?
Give them the recipe.
I share everything, because
but they can't cook it like you.
They cannot cook it like me. You know, but I want to see them succeed too, because the joy, the freedom, the happiness that I want that in you too. And that's what, when you think of yourself as a business or a business owner, you got to want to see your clients succeed. So you can't withhold anything. You got to pour it out. Why are we keeping it in? We learn so we could pour out into others. That's why we go to school, so the professors could pour in their knowledge into us. If the professor is like, well, if I teach you what I know, then you might take my job. No, they're teaching you everything that they know. They cannot teach you what they don't know. They're teaching you what they know, so you could go out in the world and soar. So as business owners, that's what we need to do. We need to teach everything that we know. Every year I put myself in a position where I'm gonna learn more. And the more I learn is the more that I could teach, and I could empower more women like me, more moms like me, more professional women who just want to spend more time with their kids, who want to be home, who are tired of working 2, 3, 4 jobs. That was me. I used to work 2 jobs, 40 hours at one and 30 hours at the other, sometimes 40 hours at both within a week. How was I able to stop that cycle and still maintain my lifestyle, still maintain my family, and still live? You know, now I work probably maximum 6, 7 hours a day, sometimes maybe 20 hours a week. How was I able to create that kind of world? Why wouldn't I want to share that secret to help somebody else to have that kind of life? Because you know what, as a mom, I recognize that I only get one shot at it. I get one time to be a mom. And I don't want to waste it anymore working. I don't want to waste it anymore killing myself to pay the bills that's going to come again next week. Because you know what, they're going to come. They're guaranteed to come. We're in isolation and those bills are still going to come. Right now, we can't do anything about it. We have to sit our ass home. And guess what? Those bills are going to get paid. Right? So why is it that When we're out and about, we can't come to that term to we're like, okay, this is what I need to do to save me, to save my family. And just make up your mind and just do it and put yourself in that position where you're learning the tools, the skills to implement in your life. And then in return, save somebody else.
You know, and I think that's right now the big area that we're going to see the growth in and people getting results from. It's in that self-development. And you know, and I'm on my journey, and I openly share the things that I'm working with and I'm learning. And that's usually the impetus to a lot of my posts that you know, things that I'm coming to, and I said, this is really good for me. I'm going to share this with other people. But learning about the abundance mindset and then the poverty mindset or the scarcity mindset. And when you get to that and realize, you know, what it is and where you fit and how you think, you're not worried about protecting what you have as much. You're going to share it more openly, because when I started in photography, I had a couple of mentors. Some were just downright mean, as they should be, in drilling in breaking certain habits. But one in particular, Nettie Nice, he used to work together, and we saw that I was into photography, and he said, you know what, I have a course. And I said, okay, great. So I started to go through this program, and I couldn't believe he was giving me his blueprint. I mean, down to vendors that he'd use. And I thought, oh my gosh, you're giving me his secret sauce and everything else. But I came to find out I wasn't Nettie. And people were booking him because of that, and seeing that interaction. And as I developed my brand, I realized, full disclosure, I'm not the best photographer. I got a couple of words on my shelf saying that I am, but I'm not. And you know, there's people like me, and that's what it really is. And once I built in and known really that's what it's about, that's what I've made my brand about, and that's what I built the foundation on. And knowing that, you know, so the name is Lawrence Kurt Media because that's who I am and what I do. But it's about, if you know me, you're going to get the same thing in the business, and really building on that, and not worrying about someone copying me. Because if they could, listen, please, I enjoy that, because as a, you know, as an entrepreneur, one of the hardest things we find is being able to scale. Yes. Because ego gets in the way. Yes. About no one can do it as well as we can, but then also the resources to do that. So you take those two together and really drill it down to what's stopping you from growing. It's you. And so you have to get out of your way and really know that that growth mindset, it's about sharing, it's about empowering others. So in whatever you do, to, you know, empowering, if it's a restaurant, you're serving food, if you're doing the jewelry, anything else, you're empowering people to show their personality, to help them in some way. So if you are in business to help, you're going to be okay. And this is why so many people aren't worried really about what's going to happen, because they know where their heart is, they know what they've set out to do. So it's really just finding possibly another way of doing it, or you know, that pivot.
Yes, so true, so true, so true. And with that being said, I think we went over a little time. I really, really appreciate everyone that's on here, and what this is a community that we're trying to create. If there's somebody online in this comment box that you feel like you could connect with to help you to get to the next level, please, please, please connect. At this season, we need to connect. We need to grow within, you know, we need to find those people that are able to elevate. And I know Lawrence and myself, we're here. Just reach out to us, DM us. Both of us spend a lot of time with people, connecting with people, developing people, and we're here for you. Right? Anything you want to add to that?
No, you know, it's exactly that. You know, my phone number is widely available. If I'm up, I'll answer it. So if you want to talk, really and truly, there's no, isn't a financial commitment to it. It's just about sharing ideas, and also just that bond in growing together, and figuring things out. I'm ridiculously resourceful, and I have more contacts in my phone than I remember. So it's about tapping into that and really being a resource for people, and sounding board. You know, you have an idea, I can help you flesh it out.
Yes, yes. Thank you for first edition of Talk to Me Tuesday, Socks and Stilettos.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to post a comment in the comments. You'll be able to see. I don't know if you can show you here. My socks
Oh, I think I
have socks on them. So as always, I'd like to leave people, have a picture perfect day. Remember to document your journey, share it, and connect.
And
Woo, look at those toes.
yes, embrace the power within, find your inner boss, and be the light that the world wants you to be. Have a great day. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. It's been a blast. Thank you.
All right, take care.